All right, guys. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua was definitely something to see. And after watching the whole fight and most of the time being on the edge of my seat, even though I was laying down, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat as each round went by. I was thinking, he's actually going to do it. He's actually going to go the full distance with Anthony freaking Joshua. Like, there's no way that Jake Paul lasted longer in the ring with Anthony Joshua than Francis Ngannou did. And it's not because of skill. It's not because of anything. It's because he fought like he was terrified. He fought like a man that knew he was going to lose. And he fought for pure survival. He went in there to last as long as he absolutely could. And him knowing that if he went all 8 rounds and lost a decision would have been a victory for him and a loss for Anthony Joshua, no matter the case. Anthony had to get the knockout. And to be fair, Jake Paul landed a lot of hits of his own. There's a video here highlighting that Jake was landing some shots on Anthony. If we watch this right here, I mean, Jake did land some shots. Like, he knocked a sweat off his head in a couple different situations, but obviously the size difference, the power difference, Joshua was just too big, too strong. Joshua's cardio was way better. It ended up only making it to the 6th round, which was still, in my mind, still was impressive. I mean, Jake went 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua, even though he fought like a pussy, ran around the ring, just shot the double leg on him like 3 or 4 times and went down and faked the nut shot, in my opinion, to get a breather. Like, all of this happened, but he still went 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua, no matter. Anthony Joshua should have went out there in the very first round and flatlined Jake Paul. That's what we all thought was going to happen. Nobody seen this going 6 rounds. I predicted Jake Paul to win because I know how crazy it is. And after seeing him make it through the 3rd and 4th round and landing like a clean right hook on Joshua, there was like a glimmer that, holy shit, he might wobble Anthony Joshua, and then there could be a chance. But the weight difference, the size difference, the skill difference, it was just obviously too much, just like we knew it was going to be. And he did end up getting finished right here. He did take a big uppercut right there, though. Let's watch that back. He did take a big uppercut right there. Took it on the chin. You know, Jake has a serious chin. I mean, even right here when Joshua got the finish, Jake barely missed the 10 count. He got up at 10, and they called it. And obviously he was done because he got a broken jaw and stuff. And he was rocked really, really good. But he took a serious straight right from Joshua right there with power on it. He took it, and he's still conscious. He's nodding his head. You can see he's like, holy shit, that was hard. But, like, he's still very much, like, there. He's awake. Like, he survived that punch, even though it was a TKO, and it took him down. It would take anybody down. But Joshua has knocked out people his size, real heavyweights. Look at Ngannou. He flatline KO'd Ngannou in the 2nd round. And Jake took that punch on the chin, broke his jaw, leaned all of his teeth in toward the inside of his mouth, and was on the ground nodding his head, smirking, going, holy shit, what a punch, and got up. So that right there is crazy enough to me that his chin was able, I mean, he got dropped, man, but it didn't expose his chin, because in his most recent post, he said that he will be going back down to cruiserweight. Who do we want to see him fight next? Look, man, after taking those hits off of Joshua like that and not getting flatlined, I don't think anyone at 200 pounds or lower is going to flatline Jake Paul. Nobody. Nobody's going to have that power that Joshua's got to flatline Jake Paul after Jake Paul took that and stood up at 10 in a 10 count. That is insane that he was able to stay conscious during that. So, at the end of the day, we all knew what was going to happen. We expected it to happen way sooner. I'm very surprised that it even went that long. We all are. And for a second, I really did think that he was going to go all 8 rounds. But toward the middle and end of the fourth, you seen him really, really start to fade. His cardio wasn't all there. But when you're running around the boxing ring trying to avoid somebody, your cardio is not going to last that long. So that's what we've seen. Not that Jake has the best cardio in a regular fight or in any of his fights. He doesn't really have the best cardio. But it really ran out in this fight because he was trying to stay away from Joshua at any means necessary. So we got what we knew was going to happen. We all just expected it to happen way faster. And I do really believe that even though Jake Paul fought like a pussy, he fought horrible, going for double legs, faking growing shots. Like, after all of that, I still think he should have or did earn the respect from a lot of people because he's got one hell of a chin. He's got a crazy set of balls on him to even get in there in the first place with Joshua. The size difference was ridiculous. And you know he was scared. He had to be scared. So he went in there and fought like a man that knew he was going to lose, but just wanted to make it as long as possible. And even though he did land a couple really, really, really clean shots on Joshua, it just didn't. I do want to run over this other clip, though. This other clip we got of somebody saying, who was this? I don't know who this is exactly. Let's watch this.
I think a great game plan and preparation, unbelievable heart. And the reality is, Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish. I think.
Okay. First of all, he lost because of size and skill. Let's be fair with that. Obviously, he lost because of both. I do not think that Joshua took his soul. I really don't think he took his soul because I feel like Jake showed a lot of heart. All Jake had to do was go out there, take a couple big shots, and take a knee and be done. But he didn't. He kept getting up and kept getting up and kept getting up. And he even got up from the finishing blow. He just got up right at the last second, and they called it. But he still got up and stood up okay after taking that type of shot. So I feel like it shows a lot about his character and a lot about his heart that he did get back up. And he showed respect to Joshua, and he was very humble with the loss. So he definitely lost because of size and skill, but I don't think that Joshua took his soul. I think that his cardio just ran out, and that shot was just very, very powerful. That would have knocked out any man out there. So I don't have much left to say about that, but I really enjoyed watching it. I was very surprised. And I got to say, even though it was horrible technique on Jake Paul's part, it was entertaining to watch. And that's what Jake does. He puts on entertaining fights that aren't the most competitive, but they're entertaining. And people pay for them. So I can't say nothing bad about him in that regard. He's getting it done. He's in his bag. And Lord knows what he's going to do next. So I hope he gets in shape, because we know that Jake fights under 200 pounds. If he was like a regular boxer, like abs and shredded, he'd probably fight like at 180. You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to see him lean down to his like real boxing weight and fight some real contenders, fight his way up. Maybe there is a championship in his future one day after he gets a lot of experience. And he can either go that route or he can stay in the route he's in, which is just put on crazy, entertaining fights. And I wouldn't mind that. I would like to see him run it back with Tommy Fury. I'd like to see Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury too. I think he'd do really good. And I would be pulling for him to get the knockout in their next fight because I do like watching Jake fight. Even though if it's crazy pussy fighting like that, I really enjoy watching it. It's just fun to watch for some reason. And I enjoy legit boxing too, but watching that type of boxing with Jake, it is entertaining also. Because whether you love him or hate him, for some reason you watch him, you know. He's just got that. But, yeah, I'd like to see him lean down and fight at a weight where he is in good shape and shredded, and maybe his cardio will be better, and maybe he works his way up the rankings, maybe he don't, but give it a shot either way. He's not worried about money, he's not worried about nothing else, so it's all about what Jake wants to do. So, and whatever he does, I'll probably be watching because it's just entertaining. So that's all I got to say about that topic. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.